Eric and Nellie contacted me because their son struggles with fidgeting. By definition, fidgeting seems small. To fidget is literally to make small movements. But fidgeting is linked up with a huge problem: how modern schools look at kids. Modern schools worldwide have taken their lead from Western philosophy. And I love me some Western philosophy, but it definitely has a body issue. When Western philosophers have looked at human beings, what they've mostly seen is a brain on a stick. A person isn't a brain on a stick. A kid, especially, is not a brain on a stick. And a kid with ADHD might be the least brain on a stick-like thing in the universe. Schools have long seen their job as shaping brains, but they've forgotten that our brains are part of our bodies. PE a couple times a week, recess a couple times a day. They're so far from nearly enough that my crazy idea for you is to ditch the basic assumption of schools across the world of what kids should look like when they're learning. Instead, look to the Hadza. The Hadza are a hunter-gatherer society living in Eastern Africa and Tanzania. Look at how they move. For a long time, Americans have assumed that our problem is that we're too sedentary. We've assumed that we're still too much. What we think we need is to get out, move more. I don't know, get treadmill desks. We've assumed that people who live in traditional societies move more than us. And then, a few years ago, scientists gave Hadza people Fitbits. And they found out that, while the average American stays still for 9 hours a day, the average Hadza stays still for 10 hours a day. Whoops. So it's not that they move more, but they move differently. The scientists found two big differences. First, when the Hadza are still, they don't sit, they lie, they kneel, they squat. Ever squat for a long time? You tip over. To stay upright is a hard problem, and it engages your brain. Kneeling is the same. Lying isn't, but it's a much more sensory thing than sitting is. Sitting is boring. Sitting does not engage your brain. It doesn't engage your senses. If there's one thing that we know about those of us with ADHD, we need action. We need sensation. And if we can't find action, we'll make it. That's difference number one. Difference number two. When the Hadza move, they really move. Hadza women, they forage over miles of hills. They search for berries. They dig for roots, all the while wearing babies on their backs. Hadza men, they stalk through the grass hunting giraffes and shooting them with bows and poison-tipped arrows. What am I saying? Simply put, the secret to homeschooling a kid with ADHD is to give them deadly weapons and tell them to kill endangered species. Kidding! Kidding! What am I recommending? First, try a day without chairs. Let your son lie, kneel, squat. And second, challenge your son to short, intense movements. Build it into your day and challenge him. See if he can get better each day. I've thrown together a chart to try. Anyone can download it on homeschoolingCRAZY.com/movement challenge. But let him customize it to make it as fun as he can for himself.